Bonjour, amis Haiti. Welcome, friends of Haiti, to this year's Haiti Celebration. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us for this virtual version of our annual event. Our goal is that even with the limitations and challenges of this past year, we want to celebrate and keep you informed about what God has been doing through the ministry of Chicago Friends of Haiti, and to give you an opportunity to join us in this effort by contributing to the support of the Cavillon Children's Village. We have been involved in Haiti now for 12 years, coming alongside the indigenous ministry of El Shaddai Ministries International, led by Donnie and Louis Saint Germain, as they seek to serve the people of this, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. What these brothers and this ministry have been doing there is really nothing short of amazing. With over 160 churches started, 43 schools with over 9,000 students, 10 orphanages with over 1,000 children, a university with 650 students, medical clinics, macro and micro businesses of all sorts, and on it goes. To my way of thinking, it is one of the great mission stories of our day, which is why I'm delighted that Donnie will be joining us later in this program. As for Chicago Friends of Haiti, we have been involved in many different ways. We take teams to Haiti twice a year, in February and July. On these trips, we have helped with the training of pastors and the planting of churches, some in the poorest communities in the country. We have brought medical care to the orphanages and to many of the neighborhoods we have served in. We have dug wells and installed water purification systems. We have helped build facilities and responded after natural disasters, such as earthquakes and hurricanes. But the centerpiece of our efforts has focused on the Cavillon Children's Village, an orphanage of 85 children. Looking at the map on your screen, you'll see the arrow pointing at Cavillon on the Southern Peninsula. You'll be hearing a little bit more about this ministry shortly, and will be given an opportunity to sponsor one of these children or to make a one-time contribution if you'd like. Like I said, you can do this at any time by going to our website, which is noted on your screen. After 7 years at $90 per child per month, because of price increases and expanded services, it now costs $120 per child per month to cover all their needs. You can now sponsor a child at $30, $60, $90, or $120 a month, or $1,440 per year. Before we go any further, I'd like to introduce the Board of Chicago Friends of Haiti, a wonderful team of men and women who oversee and coordinate this ministry with me. Leonard Kang attends Bethel Christian Church, and Leonard handles a lot of the technical aspects of our ministry. Colleen DeCraker attends Trinity Presbyterian Church in Hinsdale and is our treasurer. Dr. Kay Kelly of the Naperville Presbyterian Church helps coordinate our medical ministry. Jess Kerslake of Lincoln Square Presbyterian Church is our secretary and just covers all sorts of administrative roles for us in this work. Maria Nashar of Trinity Presbyterian Church coordinates a lot of our special events and activities, and her husband Tony is our legal representative. And Chuck Michaelick of Covenant Presbyterian Church in the city, well, Chuck just covers all sorts of ground and serves in so many different ways. It's a great team, and I so enjoy working with them. Again, I want to thank all of you for joining us for our Haiti celebration. We have seen God do some amazing things over the years, and I wish we had time to tell you all the stories. But as part of our program, we have asked a number of people to share what it has meant for them to be involved in this work, whether going on a trip to Haiti or sponsoring a child at the Cavillon Children's Village. But first, let's get started with a video that will help you get a feel for the land of Haiti, its people, and this wonderful ministry. The purpose of Chicago Friends of Haiti is to come alongside the ministry of ESMI so as to enable them to better serve the people of Haiti.
ESMI stands apart from other organizations because they provide holistic care through providing education, meeting spiritual needs, meeting physical needs, and empowering their community to become self-sustaining.
Haiti is a beautiful country.
It has been plagued by political and spiritual corruption.
They are our brothers and sisters.
They need Jesus.
I have been going to Haiti for many years.
I've had the pleasure of being able to go to Haiti twice now.
Once.
4 times.
One of the most memorable things that have happened to me on these trips, and it's happened multiple times, is when a parent comes up to me at one of the medical clinics. A parent whose baby or small child, whose life our team literally saved on a previous trip, comes up to me and with joy on their face and tears in their eyes, takes my hand and shakes it over and over again while telling me how thankful they are that we saved their child.
I would strongly encourage others to consider going to Haiti.
The main member of our team is Jesus. We seek to be in his presence and share his word through acts of love.
We collect, pack, and carry supplies such as clothing, shoes, and medicines to bring to Haiti.
I'm a retired architect, but in Haiti, I'm a nurse, a construction worker, and care for the children.
We are not in charge on the trips that we go on. The Haitians are. God is already at work in Haiti in powerful ways. There are already Haitians doing great things there. It is our job to encourage them, provide resources, and to come alongside them in a loving partnership to see churches planted, needs met, facilities developed, and much, much more, all of which will still be there long after we have gone.
When in Haiti, our motto is flexibility, flexibility, flexibility. But we do have fun.
Jesus said, "Whatever you did for one of the least of these, you did for me."
By caring for, loving, and interacting with the Haitians in the name of Jesus, which in Creole is Nan Nam Jésus, we are being the hands and feet of Jesus in a visible servant role, demonstrating the gospel in action.
But the personal connections and relationships that are made are so much more important than whatever money we might give or services we might provide. The people understand that we have come a long way at great expense. Just our presence, being able to connect with people, hug a child, look someone in the eye, showing someone cares, building a relationship, these things are worth more than money can buy. It is certainly a joy to serve the children and staff at the Cavillon Children's Village that our ministry sponsors.
It is otherworldly being able to spend time with these kids. There is just this sense of peace within the walls of Cavillon.
At Cavillon, a security wall has been built around the orphanage, a cafeteria has been built, and a water purification facility has been installed.
One thing that's so awesome is the health of the kids. To see kids growing, gaining weight, not showing the signs of anemia or malnutrition that they used to, it's really encouraging. I see faces lighter, I see more smiles.
I went to Haiti hoping I could save these children. Little did I know they saved me.
It is so gratifying to see how God is using us to make a real difference in one of the poorest, most difficult places in the world. That's why it's important to have a focused, sustained effort over a period of time instead of just 1 or 2 short-term trips. But it's also of immense significance and a great joy to see how our medical teams have been used by God through ESMI to go to an area sometimes very remote, an area usually dominated by voodoo, an area that has never had a medical or mission team of any kind, to break new ground and create the opportunity for starting a new church that will, through the power of the gospel, actually transform people's lives and the community itself, bringing life, hope, health, joy, and freedom to an entire community. As I said earlier, the centerpiece of our ministry in Haiti has been the Cavillon Children's Village. Here's Anne to tell you a little bit more about our Haiti Orphan Project, or our care for the children in Cavillon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ann Powers. First of all, I want to thank you all for your kind, generous, and faithful support of these 85 children, as well as the house moms and staff at the Cavillon Children's Village. My family has been supporters since the program began. We've met, prayed for, and seen pictures of several over the years, and it's been really great to see them grow and flourish because of the support provided by us and several others. If I had to summarize everything in terms of where we're at right now, I'd say we're celebrating progress. When we were asked to take on the care of these orphans and the support of the house moms and the orphanage itself about 7 years ago, they were all in such bad shape. Malnutrition, sickness, worms, scabies, and generally poor health, as well as crumbling, limited facilities, characterized the situation there. But now, as one doctor put it on one of our last trips, malnutrition, which used to be the norm, is now the exception. We are finally on top of the worms and scabies. The kids are growing and looking great, and the facilities are almost complete. With the dorms, a security wall, solar power, and a brand new kitchen and dining hall, a water purification system, and soon a medical clinic. It really is hard to communicate how much progress has been made, and I thank you all for helping to make it possible. It has been really disappointing to not be able to take a team to Haiti over the last year due to both civil unrest and now the COVID pandemic. ESMI has purposely kept the orphans isolated in order to keep them safe, and they seem to be doing very well. The food relief effort that we participated in last year was very successful, and all the children at Cavillon and all the ESMI orphanages have been very well fed. Still, our teams miss these children and are concerned that they've had little relational contact with others and have not had significant medical care in over a year. So we're very much praying that we can send a team this February. As the children get older, they have the option of attending the new high school that has been started by another partner of ESMI called Give Hope. This school provides high-quality education for students in the city of Lacaille and currently has an enrollment of over 900 students, about 100 of whom are coming from ESMI orphanages, including Cavillon. Because of this and the rising costs for everything in Haiti, as well as some expanded services to these children, such as a nurse stationed at each orphanage and occasional visits by one Haitian doctor employed by ESMI, we are increasing the amount for support per child. Starting with your next support payment, instead of $90 per child per month, the sponsorship cost will now be $120 per child per month, or $1,440 per child per year. This amount represents the true cost of caring for these children, including food, housing, water, education, medical care, security, maintenance, and more. If you're not able to do the full amount per month, we have other options for you. You can sponsor a child at $30 a month, $60 a month, $90 a month, or the full $120 a month. That will completely cover the cost of these things for one child for that month. Of course, one-time gifts are also more than welcome. But sponsoring a child means that there is more likely to be regular prayer for that child and all of the children. And there are also occasional opportunities to send notes, letters, and even gifts that let the child know that they're personally, individually loved and cared for. To be clear, when you get a name and picture of a child, it's really representative of all the children there. Sometimes children can be moved to another orphanage for a variety of reasons, and sometimes the government will place new children or move a child themselves, so the situation can be somewhat fluid. That's why you may not always have the same name and picture of the same child from one year to the next, and why it's important to understand that we're supporting all of these children at Cavillon. Again, I want to thank you all so much for participating in this wonderful ministry. It has made such a difference in the lives of these children. If you would like to contribute for their care or look into sponsoring a child, please go to the link at the bottom of the screen. You can also contact Ted Powers if you have any questions. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dave Luce. I'm a physician assistant and I attend Trinity Presbyterian Church in Hinsdale outside of Chicago. I've been to Haiti and the Dominican Republic on 4 short-term mission trips, and I've seen the generational impact that is made in the children who come to the orphanage and get a Christian education and 3 square meals a day. We currently sponsor Kenley Rosier, and It's really been a blessing. I keep his picture on my desk and pray for him. I just want to let you know how fulfilling that is, as well as the impact that it had.
Hello, my name is Isaac Evans. I went on the trip in 2010 where I met my wife, Erin. The overall feeling I got from the trip was that God has plans for Haiti. When Jesus was here on this earth, he brought hope and healing to people, and he's still doing it through his church.
My name is Erin Evans. My work on the trips was mostly as a nurse and a medical provider. I was blessed to be able to be a part of multiple trips, and one of the things that was so great about that was getting to see changes in individuals and families and communities over the years. I've gotten to see children grow, churches being built, and communities change.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Hoover. I believe God gives us in many ways and gives us blessings. I think there's community and family, and he blesses us with finances too. And I think that it is our job to share all of our blessings. And so if we're blessed with finances, I think that it is our job to help our brothers and sisters with finances if we can do that. And I also am glad to do it because I feel like it connects me to a different community that I would never be connected to, and I get to hear about ways that I can pray for them and just also how they're doing.
Well, Donnie, really do appreciate you participating in our Haiti celebration again this year. I'm sorry that we can't have you here in person, but very grateful that we can do this virtually anyway. So thank you for being a part of this with us. We really want to talk a lot about the Children's Village at Cavillon and the ministry that ESMI has with the orphans there. We've been involved now in supporting the orphanage there at Cavillon for quite a number of years, and I have a number of questions here that different people have been asking me. They've submitted a variety of questions, and I'm just going to ask you these particular questions here. And the first one is, just roughly how many children do you all care for in the ESMI children's villages?
Yes, thank you, Brother Ted, for these questions. And I want to thank you for your support and partnership over the years. And yes, we are now ministering to 1,028 children in 10 different sites or villages. Yes.
Thank you. And one of the most prominent questions I have been asked these days is, how has COVID impacted the children's villages or the ESMI in Haiti itself here? Do you have some idea of the impact of COVID there?
Yes, COVID has impacted the villages and ESMI in many different ways. Number one of the leg of the ministry is having the teams to come down and to minister with us. And so that is a missing part, that right now we all alone, but we are waiting to see how the larger body will be able to return back and minister with us together in a very physical way. Number two, it affects the children because right now they're missing the teams that used to come. And the teams used to bring encouragement and carry them up. And so they're missing that touch. And so that's affect us in many different ways. But we have made masks for all of the children in all of our villages. So each of them have 2 masks that we wash them and wear them back. And then, so COVID has not really been very strong in Haiti. I think in total we have about 8,000 cases. and less than 300, I think, of people that died. But and so it has not really affected in terms of the disease itself, has not been so much an impact, but it impact the economy of Haiti as a whole, and so that has caused the food supplies to become more expensive, and to really take care of our children has become a little bit more expensive due to the COVID that caused the price and rising in buying materials. Yes.
But none of the children or staff have been sick. Is that correct?
No. So none of the children have been sick, and we have doctors that constantly visit them, and so they're all in good health. Yes, by good grace. Yes.
Good. What are the leading causes of orphan children in Haiti, and how did this ministry get started in the first place?
Yes, as you remember, Louis was our first missionary that we sent to Haiti in '95. When he got there, and there were so many needs of parents who grandparents who has grandchildren they were taking care of, but could not, and because of malnutrition and different things of that sort. So that's when we started ministering to 16 young children. And so right now, many of them are working for the ministry, as well as many have been married and have their own lives. Some have become medical doctors or different workers in the society. And then in the early 2000s, that's when there started to have major hurricane and major disaster. And so those have caused many children from the Gonaives area and throughout the land and to dislocate with their family or also lose their family. Then the government was looking places to put those children, and our ministry was there. And then we created partnership with a ministry that was able to provide resources for us to take care of them in the early phase. And at this time, it was called C3, and it was orphanage ministry. And so we have started build those homes and started to minister to those children. And so this is how it started, and how. And so these are some of the causes why there's so many kids without a father and a mother, because of natural disasters, because of disease, that the average age of a man is 51 and they tend to have a lot of children, and because of mothers that gave birth and died during delivery. And so these are some of the causes, and because also sometimes of abandonment that the parents, or they come to the city and they don't have the means, and so they abandon the kids in the city. Mm-hmm. And so these are some of the causes why there's so many orphans into the island.
And what role does the Haitian government play with the orphanages, and what do they provide? Any kind of assistance to you? Do they have the right to place additional children in the orphanages? What role does the government have?
The government in Haiti does not play any role in terms of the orphanages or the children village. However, when you have a children village, they require that you don't put it to full capacity, but to leave 20% unoccupied, so that they themselves, as they find children who are abandoned or on the street, that they will be able to bring them into the village. So the government does not really, but they have a lot of requirement of how it should run and what you deserve, what you need to have and to provide for the children. But however, they don't provide any resources whatsoever to help take care of those needs.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we have been involved with the Cavillon Orphanage for, at least 7 or 8 years, if not more. Now, what was orphan care like before you had groups like us sponsoring some of the orphanages? What was that care like?
As you know, that care was very difficult because we had a lot of children, and many of them were malnourished, and there was scabies and disease taking over the children. They were losing weight, and we did not have the resources and the means to take care of them. And God has raised you and Friends of Haiti and the churches to come alongside of us in order to help us minister to that need. And today, as you look at those children, to see that they are healthy, their hair no longer yellow, their stomach no longer extended, and that they have good bed to sleep and good cafeteria to eat, and to know that they have a future that is certain. And so that's one of the ways that you have helped us really ministering holistically to those children.
That's very encouraging. Thank you.
Yes.
What would you say are the greatest needs that these children have? Are they medical? Are they physical? Are they educational? Are they spiritual? Or are they all the above?
I believe it is all the above. As you know, Haiti is the poorest country in the Western world, and health issues is very limited. And parents who have children, they can't even afford to take them to visit the medical clinic. So first of all, medical is a very key issue. And then number two, not only medically, that because of your coming that you provide this aspect for the children, but also physically. And many of those children, when we talk about the physical aspect, that they did not have proper clothes, and even they go to school if they can, but if you set them on the street, barefoot, and they don't have the proper physical material to take care of them. And so, and then also many of them, because of malnourishment, and they don't grow to the potential. And then also the third aspect is emotional. And sometimes they were without hope. They don't see a future. They don't see what would happen after they, as if the parents or if the family completely disappear, that those children were hopeless. Then thirdly, spiritually, as you know, Haiti, Vodouism is very strong, and many of those kids are involved their parents are involved in Vodouism and witchcraft. And so therefore, as we minister to them, not only that we minister to their felt need, but our goal is really to go to the deeper need, which is the gospel, and so that those children will come to know Christ and to become a living testimony for him.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes.
What are you mentioned it very briefly, as the children do get older and graduate from school, what are some of the options? How are you providing for these kids opportunities as they grow up, develop, leave school? Do they just stay at the orphanage forever? Do they get to live out on their own somehow? Can they get training, jobs, education? What happens as the kids get older?
So as they get older, right now we have what we call the transition homes. Mm-hmm. And in the transition homes, that's where they will learn the skills, and they will be very perfected in that skill. And some that are very gifted in education. We have some right now in Port-au-Prince study in the medical school. We have sent some outside of Haiti to some other school to study medicine, and then they will return back. So those who are very gifted, we provide opportunity for them to further their studies. And then some are in our school of nursing, some are in, because we have the school of agriculture. So once they finish high school, there's door open that we sponsor them toward higher education. And so that they will become part of the 4% of the Haitian that finish the high school and going to what we call the colleges. And yes, they will be part of that 4% that will become the leaders of the island. So those leaders tomorrow, they will be well educated as well as have a spiritual foundation. Then there are others who does not have the ability to study. So that's why we create small businesses. Right now we have developed a bakery business where we make very good bread and stuff. We have 6 orphans that's hired in that business. We have water business. We have hired some of them to be involved. We have a sewing business. We're trying to help develop so that they employed and so that they can have a skill and so that they can get married, form their own family and their own life. So we create many different opportunities. And because also we are planting a lot of churches and build a lot of homes. And so right now we are thinking in how we can start to train them also in the masonry so that they can be involved in building construction and so on.
So you're raising up a whole new generation for Haiti.
Yes, it's a whole new generation of leaders. Yes.
That's wonderful. And also, just really one last question here, that maybe one other quick one. How do these orphanages impact the community around them? On the one hand, I know you keep the kids there at the compound, and then they also, as they get older, go out to the school system there. But how do these orphanages impact the communities in which they exist?
First of all, every orphanage that we have is connected to the church. And so therefore the church will have the ability to minister to those children. And as we talking about Cavaillon, and we were praying that God send really a good key leader there to really pastor in that church. And I have one of our best pastors is in the Jeremy area that we had. His name is Serge Orel and his wife. They have 2 children. And so I have talked with Lois and we praying that he will be, because he's a strong leader and very respectful, who preached the gospel, who Sean Martin knows him very well. He's one of Sean's favorite guy. And so that's why we want to see that orphanage or that village really and that church go to the next level. And so that's why we're thinking of Serge will be the best leader to place there with his spirituality and knowledge, and also his ability to communicate. So as the church minister to the orphanage, so therefore its impact within the community, it's unbelievable to see that, as people come and to see that those children who had no hope, and now they have hope. As the orphanage there, and there's children in the community who could not go to school, but because of those children and their support, provide for the teacher's salary. So therefore, you may have 80 children in the orphanage. There's 300 in the school. But because of the support of the orphanage, it helped all these other 200 and some kids to attend the school. So it's so therefore, because of that, it's make impact in many different ways. And in some of the school right now, we provide a hot meal, and so sometimes once a day, and we'll provide a hot meal that will help to minister to the kids within the community. And so that's why, as you have the orphanage, you have the church, you have the school, it really transformed that community as a whole. And where before it was maybe a witch doctor that was in power within that community, that wanted the people to remain impressed and oppressed, and doesn't want them to know how to read or to grow into knowledge in everywhere in that section.
Oh, thank you so much,
Yes.
Donnie. This is all very helpful
Yes, thank
and
you.
very encouraging to hear. As we wrap this up, is there anything else that you might want to add to what you have shared with us already here today?
Yeah, just wanted to say thank you very much to all of the supporters and to you personally, and for your leadership and your partnership in ministry, and also for the impact that you are helping us to make in that community. And because of you, the gospel has been spread. And because of you, many of those children will become the future leaders of Haiti. And we pray that we'll continue to partner together, and so that we can transform Haiti one city at a time for our King. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Donnie. And we so appreciate your leadership and being in partnership with you like this. It is our privilege and joy. And we are so grateful for the work that you're doing, the leadership that you and Louis and others are providing there in Haiti. What a kingdom impact that you have had, and what a privilege it is to be in relationship with you. Thank you so much for being with us here for this Haiti celebration. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless.
Right.
Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I attend Covenant Presbyterian Church, where I'm on the mission committee. I've also been to Haiti about 6 or 7 times, and I've had the opportunity to interact and see many of the kids in the orphanage. One of the things that amazed me when I first came to Haiti, knowing Haiti was this third world country, was seeing the joy and the smiles and the energy of these young kids. These are kids that came to the orphanage that were oftentimes neglected, abused, abandoned. So to see how the orphanage has given them an opportunity to have education, have good food, and have an exposure to a Christian church that teaches about a loving God. I support several of these orphans because for me, these kids that are raised in the orphanage and other orphanages like Cavillon represent oftentimes the hope for the future of Haiti. So please consider supporting through Chicago Friends of Haiti an orphan or two and bring hope to Haiti. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Katie Bazelinski, and I was blessed to participate in 4 or 5 medical mission trips to Haiti. I was a medical provider during these trips. I think about going right after the earthquake, seeing so much devastation and also so much hope in the Haitian people. And I think about the unique bonds that are formed and the friendships created between the team members on these trips. The impact of all of these experiences are indescribable. You always come home feeling like you are changed. You are reminded of how much we all need God.
What do I do on the trips? I administer the Chicago Friends of Haiti Clean Water Ministry. A great deal of my work is done here in the United States before the trip starts. I have been on 4 trips to Haiti. I found the Haitians to be very resourceful people. They are very adept at using limited resources. These trips made me acutely aware that God loves all people. We are all created in His image and desire value and respect.
On one of our last trips to Haiti, our medical team diagnosed a young man in the community of Savan, which is a poor neighborhood in Lacaille, with a serious blood disorder. Subsequent testing revealed that his bone marrow was not producing red blood cells. After a lot of work by several team members, we were able to make arrangements for Kensley Victor to come to the U.S. for treatments that might help cure his condition, which left untreated would ultimately be fatal. He has been with us since early March, spending time in Rush Hospital and staying with many different families while he continues his blood transfusions, of which he's had about 25 to date, and his ongoing medical care. The pictures you see of Kensley in Rush, along with some of the medical staff there, including Dr. Kent, who is his primary physician, and the one responsible for arranging all of Kensley's care to be paid for by Rush, which is so amazing and so wonderful. We are so grateful for the care that he and everyone there has provided for Kensley. They've been terrific, and I cannot imagine what his tab would be at this point. But I don't want you just to hear about Kensley. I want you to meet him. So here he is.
Hi, my name is Kensley. I'm from Haiti. I have 2 sisters, 1 brother. They are younger than me. My dad works in the police department, and my mom is teacher in mathematics and science. My first time on a plane is Chicago. I like Michigan, Illinois, and I like some people too. This is my medicine. I'm here for medical reasons. Every morning and night, I have to take low importance medicine. I take about 15 tablets every day and check my blood sugar level 3 times a day. Every 2 or 3 weeks, I go to Watch Hospital in Chicago for blood tests and blood transfusion. I don't like blood transfusion. I like watching movie and I like play guitar. And I like play piano. I like play golf. And I like bike ride. I like going to church. I like Haitian restaurants and mac and cheese.
How's your English coming, Kensley?
My English has been better. I have VSA class. I practice my English every day. I said thank you everyone for comfort me and family. Thank you and the family. So I like you. So I love you so much. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Robin. I go to NPC. I've been to Haiti several times and I've done a lot of different things. I do not have any sort of medical experience or license or anything, so if I can do it, you can do it. Believe me, it's very rewarding to be able to do such a hands-on thing for our Christian brothers and sisters and be able to get to know them, and I highly recommend it. It will leave an impact on your heart. It softens your heart, lets you know how dependent we are on God and how much love there is around the world for Him, and just builds your appreciation and love for our family, the larger church family.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie Bone. I went on 2 mission trips to Haiti. I, during the clinics, would take patients' vitals and do scabies washes and lice treatments. When going to Haiti, you see just really progressed disease states and kind of feel like what you're doing is a drop in the bucket. But if you view it as a way to point people towards the ultimate physician, being God, then you're not just putting a band-aid on the wound, but you're pointing others to salvation. I think if it hadn't been for those 2 trips, the medical missions, I wouldn't have gone into medicine. So now I'm in physician assistant school in Detroit. Thank you for allowing me to participate in this, and thank everyone for their support too.
I'm Ethan Zimmerman, and I have been on the mission trip to Haiti with El Shaddai Ministries International 5 times over the last decade. In my role as a family doctor on these trips, it was just an experience that you could hardly prepare yourself for. Every day we would set up a mobile clinic, usually in one of the orphanages run by the ministry, and we would just see children one after the other, and we would examine them, laugh with them, treat their illnesses as we encountered them, but it was just an unforgettable experience, and an immediate and permanent bond was formed. Coming from a country where we have so many materials and resources and wealth at our fingertips, it really teaches you a lesson when you're with these young ones. It was an easy decision for our family to take the plunge and sponsor an orphan. It has been a great experience talking with our kids and using the picture that we have on our refrigerator, praying regularly for the orphan, and just having discussions about the family of God and the bond of brotherhood that we share with all believers, and what does adoption mean. It's been tremendous. I would sure encourage anyone to give a look to sponsoring an orphan and getting involved with the Haiti Orphan Project. It sure has been a blessing for our family, and it's something I would like many people to have.
We conclude our Haiti celebration with what I'm going to call our grand finale, a musical panoramic video that I think you will really enjoy, along with some trivia questions that I think you'll find fun and interesting. If you haven't already, please go to the website during this time and donate. Whether it's a one-time gift or whether you're sponsoring a child, we want to thank you for your generosity and for joining us this evening and making this ministry possible. Thank you. Enjoy the video.